Okay, welcome back. Today is day 77 of learning to draw. Yesterday we got this going, which is the dimensions. So make sure I've got. Okay, yeah, these are just erasure marks. Okay. So these are the dimensions for the circle and then the square, which is used in order to do the proportions of the man. So we've got those. That's my goal for today once we get there. But to start, we are going to go through lesson 8. We did the review on Friday of lessons 1 through 7, which are getting all the angles and figuring and learning the different ways you can measure an angle. Definitely something I'm going to have to review a couple of times before it actually sticks in my head, like all the steps and different ways to measure and figuring out what would be the best way to measure this angle in this situation. So just learning the material then, right? Like my hands got it, but it's now keeping it in the head. But we are going to move on to lesson 8, and that is going to be the drawing of a square. So I have this all set up, and I really am nervous about keeping the proportion drawing out in the open uncovered. So what I might start doing is keeping a tracing paper on top of it so it doesn't get ruined. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. So I don't like having my stand just directly on top of it, and then if anyone else needs to use this space, it's covered from that as well. So I might do the same thing for this particular drawing as well. Okay, let me take the book off this stand, and we can go on, moving on to lesson 8. And again, this book is Harding's Lessons on Drawing, a Classic Approach by J.D. Harding. You can get it off of Amazon or thrift store. There's a lot of places you can find this book. But what's great is there's no copyright, so it's an old book. That's what that means. Okay. So this is the example of the exercise. So it looks like A, B, A, C, and then you draw C, D, B, D, maybe. But that's kind of what it looks like. It could be you draw this first and then you do these. But normally he starts with A, so we'll just have to see what he says. Okay. And yeah, okay, that's going for you guys. Good. The figure to which your attention is now called is a square. That is, it consists of 4 equal sides and all its angles are right angles. In drawing this figure, you should be particularly attentive to make the first angle ABD. Okay, so this is the angle that we're going to be making first. Exactly a right angle, for unless this be done, you will find it impossible by the adaptation of the other lines to make a perfect square. Okay. And then we also have to make sure A and D are the same length, which we have different ways of doing that. The first line drawn should be AB, placing first a dot for A and another for B, wherever you may think they should come, judging first of the perpendicularity of the line to be drawn and then of its height. After having drawn this, you must fix on the point C. To do this, take care first that it be horizontally level with A, and secondly that it be distant from A as B is. Oh, so that's how you do that. Okay. You then draw the line AC. This mental process is the all-important prerequisite on which your progress is based. It is the training of your mind to reflect before you act. You thus mentally see each line before you attempt to draw it. You then, in like manner, place a point for D under C and level with B, then draw CD and BD. When the 4 lines are drawn, you must carefully examine and compare them with each other to see that the 2 lines AB and CD are both horizontal of the same length and parallel, and also that AB and CD are both perpendicular of the same height and parallel. and that all four angles are right angles. So, okay. So it's very important to get these lines right, which I was assuming would be A, B, B, D because it said get this angle first, but that's just where your attention should be, because if this is a right angle and we've done the steps the way he said, then these two will definitely be right angles. Or this will definitely be a right angle, and so will these. So this is the angle to be most, to be most attentive to, or to pay the most attention to. Okay, so let's just try this out. I need to get paper so I can draw. I don't want to draw on this paper, but I also don't want to move it. Let's see. I might be able to draw on a pad. I'm thinking this should have been on a pad, and then I could have just easily moved it off of the table and stuff. That would have been smart, but I didn't do that, so I'll have to. I might just have to move this. I'll move this to a pad because now it gives me the ability. Yes, let me attach this to a pad. That won't move easily when I'm trying to draw. So we'll find that later. And then this will open up this space so I can at least draw the exercise without ruining that. Let's see what I can use today. Use the black as a buffer. First bright piece of paper. This failed. Oh. Sorry if the focus keeps going in and out. I'm moving around very quickly, which the video capturing device I'm using doesn't like it. Like when I do that, so it's just gonna get all funky and weird until I'm done moving around too fast. Okay. And it is a later night. Things came up this afternoon, so I was unable to draw this afternoon. So I'm not sure how long I'm actually going to be streaming for tonight. I don't know if we're going to actually hit an hour, which the goal is to try to get to 2 hours, but there we go. That's all aligned. get a pencil that has a harder rating for drawing this, because these marks are a little too, even when I'm barely using the pencil, they're still too dark. Okay. So just make a point A wherever. Now B has to be directly under A. Okay, let me see. Okay, so I'm to make the line AB before I place the point C. Uh-oh. I'm hitting something. I'm not sure how I'm hitting something. Alright, there we go. Nope, that was another one. At least we know the lines are perfect, or the dots were directly on top of each other now. So the dots were where they needed to be. The line was not doing what it needed to do. Awesome. Now, to make the point I kind of want it to be over here. Nope, that is not. It's too short. Okay, let's see. Excellent. Yeah, I just realized that. There we go. I just want to make sure the line. Okay, between the B and the O. B and the O. It's a little too far away now. Alright, now that's the right distance. I just need to make sure that lines up. There we go. I have a bubbly water. I have no idea why all of a sudden it decided to start making noise. But if the microphone is picking that up, that is what is making that noise. My bubbly water that for some reason the carbonation decided it needed to make noise. I was just like, I want to be a part of this as well for some reason. Let me be in the stream. Yep, and straight. So this is A, B, and C. And these are the same length. So now I just make the point D directly under C and horizontal with B. It did not happen, but that's also because I realized that as I was making the line that I need to measure to the tip, like to the exact end of the line, not just lined up to the dot, which I didn't check before I started drawing. That's too below. No, I'm supposed to draw CD and BD. So I guess CD is supposed to be first. Cool. Nope. This is too short. Pretty sure. Yep. It's too short. I had a feeling as soon as I finished the thing. Because B is right here. Because I need that line. I still think this is CD's fine, it's just BD's not fine for some reason. So it's B too. I made B too long. That's the problem. Okay, hold on. So we don't want B. So I'm making B too long. Okay. And I can check. So yeah, it's right where, yeah. I confused myself. Hold on. I made a mark past the dot, but I measured it exactly to the dot, so that was my bad. There. So that's the length I want right there. That's my bad. Okay, Now that I figured out what was wrong, that line was easy to draw. Alright, and that is how you draw a square for lesson 8. Oh man. These are very, very involved lessons, and they take a lot out of you mentally. It doesn't seem like it should. It's like, yeah, this is easy. No. It takes so much focus and mental effort. It's insane. Oh, that's why I have to take a break after like the completion of an extra. It's just like, yeah, my brain can't handle it. I gotta take a break before we go on again. Alright, let's try it again. Okay, I'm gonna try to make about the same size square because that size seemed to be pretty good. I was able to keep up with it, and it's a decent, and it's a big enough square too, where my hand actually has to move. Like where you actually have to like pay attention and stuff. Okay. It's a little off. Nope. The slanted slope line. Hold on. No, this needs to be in the center. Got distracted because I messed up now. It's like I still think There we go. Alright. Now, C is supposed to be directly across in the same length. I'm going to eyeball it and then I'm going to measure it. I made this the exact same. Okay. So it should have been right here. I thought I made it a little bit longer. Yep, let's just make sure. Oh, I made this line a little bit shorter. Okay. That's where it needs to be. Okay. Yep, I made the line shorter, so now I'm going to make it longer. And then this needs to be a straight line. Or I'm gonna get everything else wrong. Was a little bit off. this is a little doesn't help if I'm starting sloped. Okay. I think that's still sloped up. Did I somehow make it? I did. How did I do that? I made the dot higher. It was lower and then I made it higher. Jeez. Still sloping upwards. And I'm making it exactly on the same line. Am I starting this where it needs to be started, or am I starting low? I might be starting low too. This line starts here. That should be better now. No, that's sloping downwards. Let's get this. Finally. Jeez. Still the right distance. Okay. No idea what was going on with that one. It's like I just couldn't get the seed out to line up for some reason. Okay. Now to make this one. Kind of feel like I'm playing Sudoku when I'm lining these up. It's like, okay, is there a 3 in this row? Is there a 3 in this row? No? Alright. Okay, so you guys can see what I'm actually trying to line up to. It's this part right here. It's that right there. Okay. A little off with the distance on that one. And right on distance-wise on this one. This, I think I made it a little too long. No, I made it a little too short. It'd actually be perfect. Cool. Actually, a perfect one. Yeah, if I could just draw a straight line, that would be great. There we go. All right. Oof. A little bit easier when you know what to look for, but mine is a little off. Don't know why it's off. Maybe it's not off. Maybe it's just my eyes. Yeah, I think that's just my eyes right now. Yeah. And this is how we draw, or this is how we measure squares. Like I said, it takes a while. Oh, it takes a lot. Starting to think you guys should just follow along with this. There you can see, it's a lot of work when you're doing it this way. I know right now I'm learning the basics and I'm not learning figure, which is what I need to be learning how to draw, but this is going to help with figure in the long run. Because it's allowing me to get the basis down of measuring angles and the different lines and strokes needed to eventually get to figure. But yeah, the majority of this book is going to be pretty much building. It's a lot of buildings, which is fine. I don't care if that's what I learn how to draw first. Especially since I'm not just using these lessons, I'm supplementing them with the figure drawing of the classical atelier, which I think it's a French word, so I'm definitely not pronouncing that right. Oh, I can't believe January's almost over. Days go by fast. Okay. I think what's going to happen, because it's getting late, I think I'm just going to draw one more square and then attempt to start drawing the very basic lines. I don't know if we'll complete getting the square and circle in from the master copy sketch, but we'll see how far we go before I end up falling asleep, because I'm falling asleep just sitting here. Challenge: if you can't fall asleep, just try one of the exercises in Harding's lessons and you'll be ready to go to sleep instantaneously. Okay, I gotta remember I don't have very much space going this way, so I want to keep it pretty fair size. Oh no. No. Not what you want to see happening while you're erasing. Nope. Funny enough, that is the straight line though. So my point must have been off. A, B, and then we gotta draw C. Oh my gosh. No, you're moving it. I'm trying to move the dot up just a little bit. Okay. Still too short, but I'll fix that in a second. Why? Okay. Oh. It's just barely. I'm gonna lengthen it just a little bit because that is almost perfect size. Almost the same size as the square we just drew. Now it goes to that's right there. So I need to move it over just a little bit. It needs to be up a bit. Oh, what did I do with it? Whatever, just a little bit. There we go. So I need to okay, now we need to get D lined up. It's dipped in the middle for some reason. Perfect. And that is how you measure squares. Oh man. That is insane. It is intense. It takes a lot of focus to measure it that way, but worth it. 3 perfect squares. I'm trying to, I have to move everything now so we can get to the master copy drawing. I'm gonna work on it just a little bit. I'm gonna move this right here. Move out of the way. These off that. Now to find. Here it is. We'll just put it on top for now. There's that. Okay, now I'm gonna try to draw this very lightly because this right here is, I want to create this line, but it needs to be light because it's a non-existent line. Same with this. These are non-existent lines, but I want them there for reference. So I need to make them as light as I possibly can. It'd help if it was straight. There we go. Yeah. Okay, hold on. redo these lines a bit. Now that I got the idea of what it is that I'm going for. And I realized that I could do another piece of paper instead of erasing, and that's probably the better way to do it, but I have a very limited amount of these papers. That's why I'm just using one. Sloped the entire time. Fix that line. I'll just leave it because I have the line that I need. There we go. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. So this is the square that the man's going to be in. And then this is going to be where the circle ends up. Which, yeah, okay. That's why these need to be here. And then this is going to be the midline for the man. This doesn't look in the right proportion though. No, it's not going to be. That's right. It's not in the center of this square, it's the center of the circle. need to remember that. Okay. So I think we're going to end here tonight. This is where we're going to end tonight. It's a good start. I'm going really slow with this on purpose because it's teaching me things, and also I don't know how to do curved lines yet, so that's something that we can struggle with tomorrow, because I already struggled with squares today. So looks like this is stuck here. Right. Yeah, it's stuck here. Okay. There we go. I'll try to figure out how to get this to be safer. But okay. Yeah, I need to figure out how to what surface I can put this on so I can draw with it without keeping it on the desk. That's not gonna work. Alright. Oops. Sorry. Alright, so I think that we're gonna end here. This is a good stopping point. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. We will be going on to lesson 9 tomorrow and trying to get the circle. So I'm going with the most simple forms right now just because that's what I'm most comfortable with. So we'll be able to like progress. I'll be able to see that progression a lot easier than when we start doing the actual figure of the guy. So again, if anyone has any advice or other resources that they know about that I haven't talked about on these streams, please write them down in the comments below. I do appreciate it, and it'll help me gain more knowledge, which is what I'm looking for, because the more knowledge I have on this, the better able I am going to be able to progress, because that's how I work. I work with figuring out the foundations and having background knowledge because I'm like more of an analyst mind. So I like to analyze things and understand what it is that I'm doing instead of just copying, I guess. Which is why the master copy is also hard for me to do instead of following Harding. But it's fine. Yeah, and if you have any suggestions on what you would also like to see or talk about while I am drawing, please also write those in the comments below, and that kind of will help the conversation become a little bit better. I'm sorry that it's been boring the past couple of days. I've been concentrating on drawing, which kind of gets me stopped talking, but I also haven't really had anything interesting that I've learned or that's been going on, so it's been dry. So yeah, I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. I will hopefully be back in the afternoon tomorrow instead of this late at night, so it'll be a little bit longer, we'll be able to focus more on progressing with the copy, or maybe doing a couple of more practices with the exercise. But either way, it'll be a little bit longer, which is good for me. Yeah, so until then, I